Hey everyone, it's Hanna from Dazzling Books, and today is International Women's Day. Although this is the very end of the day, I still want to make this video because I want to celebrate female authors who have impacted my life. I don't have anything sparkly like champagne or even soda or those stuff that you drink if you're celebrating something, but I have tea and I'm going to celebrate these authors by sipping tea, and I think that also sounds great. So let's just start with my list. If you follow me on Instagram at Hanna Bella July, you know that this is a list that I posted on my Instagram stories, but I thought it would be okay to post it here too. This is kind of the time when a lot of the things that I'm thinking sounds better in my head than out of my mouth, but I hope that this is still an okay video. The first woman that I want to drink to or sip tea to and celebrate is Shannon Hale, because Shannon Hale impacted my life when I was 12. I read her book called Princess Academy, and the girls in that book were just extremely different from the girls that I saw on TV, whether it be from Barbie movies or from Indonesian TV series. The girls in the book, they were very brave and humble and loyal to each other and competitive and independent, and I was just awed by their attitude. I think that before this book, I just had a very limited idea of how girls should be, what girls could do, and how their stories usually end. But this book kind of pointed me to another direction, and I have been looking at that direction ever since. At the end of this book, I was very surprised to see that the main character didn't get to have her happily ever after with the prince. You know, like, it had been my expectation. This is called Princess Academy. She went to the academy because she was being prepared to be a princess among these other girls, I mean. But she didn't get to be that. I was very surprised that she decided to build a school in her village instead. It was like the greatest twist on my own expectation, and I loved it. I think every single time I read a book and I see how brave a character is or how independent a character is, I think of Mary. So cheers to Shannon Hale. The second author that I want to mention here is Suzanne Collins. Yep, the author of The Hunger Games. I was introduced to Hunger Games in 2012, and by being introduced to Hunger Games, I was unknowingly being introduced to young adult literature. And as you can probably tell, because of the amount of young adult books I read and talk about in this channel, well, it was just an amazing experience to be able to be introduced to this young adult world, young adult literature world. Other than that though, Hunger Games made me realize that there were authors out there that trust teenagers, and that there are authors that believe that teenagers could handle big, conflicting, or complicated topics such as those in Hunger Games. And after reading Hunger Games, I kept looking for those authors, and I kept trying to read from those authors who do not look down on teenagers and instead see them as like capable of digesting the stories and picking apart and talking about and reflecting upon these big complicated topics in them. So cheers to Suzanne Collins. Another author that I want to mention is Stephenie Meyers. I celebrate her for giving me Edward Cullen for me to obsess over when I was in junior high school. I never had an experience like that after Edward Collins. Like, I don't obsess over any other fictional character the same way I did Edward Collins. And although some of the things that I did are like embarrassing, but deep in my heart I still cherished those times, because those were like really unique fun times for me. And I know that Stephenie Meyer's get a lot of shit for writing Twilight, but the thing is, Twilight made so many people readers. So cheers to Stephenie Meyer for giving me Edward Cullen and also turning so many young people into readers. The next author that I want to mention is Winna Efendi, because she gave me Melbourne Rewind. And the thing about that book that impacted me so much was the way that the characters show love. The way that the character showed love in this book was more familiar and more comfortable and sort of clicks to what I think love should be. And it's the kind of love that has a high regard for low-voiced what-if conversations at night, and for comfortable silence, and for small gestures, and for supporting the other's passion and falling asleep when listening to another person's favorite song. Like, that kind of love I like. That kind of love, like, I could see myself giving. Well, other kinds of love just seemed not unreal, but not very relatable to how I would show love, if that makes sense. So, cheers to Winna Efendi. By the way, she also introduced me to indie alternative rock music. I want the song One and Only to be played in my future wedding because of Winna Efendi. Another author that I want to mention is Mary Rutkoski, because she gave me Kestrel in the Winner's trilogy, and that was the first character that reflected me. I mean, not 100% me, but like just enough that I always remember Kestrel as somebody who is like me, like who reflects who I am in books. So here's to Mary Rutkoski. I am looking forward to any series or any book that she's going to write in the future. Another author that I want to mention is Tahareh Mafi, because reading Shatter Me was extremely fun. Her writing was beautiful, and one of the things that I remember most reading Shatter Me was that I hated one character so much, but then I was so shook that my judgment of that character and my feelings for that character were flipped in the next book. And that was hell of an experience. And I think that I find anti-heroes more intriguing than those with Captain America type of personality or ideals, because of Warner. And maybe I love Kestrel or Cass Brecker or Victor Vale or any other anti-hero because I met Warner first. Cheers to Tahareh Mafi. And oh my god, the continuation of Shatter Me is here. I'm very excited to read it. Scared that I won't like it as much as Shatter Me, but still looking forward to it anyway. Now this next author is extremely obvious, but I still want to celebrate her and mention her here. J.K. Rowling. She gifted the world with a story that's about friendship and about being brave and vulnerable and about adventure and about magic and about family and a lot of other things, and it's just phenomenal that she did that. And so I want to celebrate her for that. But not only that, I want to celebrate her particularly because she gave this tool for introverts to bond with strangers. And it's so nice that you can click with somebody who knows the world Muggle or who is in the same house as you. Yay, Ravenclaw. Here's to J.K. Rowling. You gave me a lot of friends and memories. And last but not least, I want to celebrate Gloria Chao because she made me feel seen like never before. With her book American Panda, she showed me that a story about a girl with a family so similar to mine is a story that is worth telling. Oh my god, I get quite emotional just thinking about Gloria Chao's American Panda. So, thank you, Gloria Chao. I would want to share my story too someday. That's it for this video. I know that it's not like extremely chatty or like very funny, but I think this video is quite sincere. Thank you for celebrating with me and listening to all the stories about these female authors who have impacted my life. What about you? Which female author have impacted your life? I would love to listen to your story. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.